The views, thoughts, and opinions on this podcast belong only to the hosts and the guests. They don't necessarily reflect any organization or sponsors connected to us. We aim to keep things accurate, but everything you hear is shared for information, conversation, and entertainment. We're going to dive into good laughs, tough talks, and that genuine feel that you came for. So get comfortable, relax into the vibe, and let the moment unfold. This is Keep It Clean. Lock in.
Because if that ain't get changed now, get you off yourself. And then two, if you change it now,
is this needed? Is it accessible? Does it change up everything? What's y'all thoughts? Limit anything. There is a game that's second place. Yes, second place.
Tell me why I'm watching the game on ESPN. One of the banners in the background is YouTube TV for the game, but we can't even watch it. How does that make sense?
$20. I don't want no $20. I want the game.
Every time you see me, I keep it clean like a coaster.
Man, I hear our intro every time, and I always think about them $20 now that football season is over, man. It just feels different. It just feels different knowing that we already in the countdown of the days, man. And I love me some basketball. I love me some hockey. You get me into the F1 season. That should be starting soon. I got my peepers out, right? But I still don't care about baseball until really October.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. Robbery. There's going to be a gap in our viewership because March is already here, which means the tournament. So I only got a little bit left of basketball for college, and it's just like, man. $20, man. YouTube TV, you still owe me for that. You don't know what paying you costs, right? But we gonna clean that up. We appreciate y'all coming back, man. This is a new episode 26 of the Keep It Clean sports side. Do we know a basketball player that wore 26 that you actually respect? It's like one of them weird numbers.
I was just about to say, like, it's like Kyle Korver or something like that. I don't know who wore 26.
I thought his was he did wear 26, at least in Philly.
Yeah.
At least is there a football player that we like, number 26?
I mean, didn't Saquon just strap that on, or was that 28?
I feel like it's 28.
Okay.
He Googles, man. Yeah. It's a number no one cares about.
Yeah.
At least jersey-wise. It's not a big number for soccer.
He was 26.
He was 26? Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, I guess. So he's solo.
Yeah.
Is he Hall of Fame 26? It just drop off right there? Because we can't think of nobody else, bro.
I mean, there might have been somebody back in the day that wore 26 that's just not coming off the top of my head. But recency bias, I got to go with Saquon.
Dang, man. That might be a question, man. Look, what are the goated numbers? What's the Mount Rushmore numbers for basketball? What's the Mount Rushmore number?
That's not even a question.
Okay, 23. We know for
that's
basketball.
Not even a question. That's not even a question, though. Not for basketball.
That's one.
Yeah. Football might be 7.
7's goated. Seven is
goated. I feel like 7. There's a few in football.
11 in football.
11. Usually 18.
Yeah. Off of Peyton alone?
Is he on one?
Yeah, give or take. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's goated.
Okay. 21 in football, especially on defense.
Basketball too.
Yeah. Because I'm thinking like Damian Thomas, and I'm thinking prime.
Yeah.
Tim Duncan.
Yeah. KG.
Oh yeah. 21. Yeah, 21 tough.
21's tough in basketball for sure.
A universally unbeaten numbers.
Mm-hmm.
1 and 3.
Yeah. Everybody loves 1.
And everybody loves if you can't get 1, you go with 3. Everybody loves 3. And
can't get 3, you try 5.
And if you had the coach that ordered a specific set of jerseys, you cool with 0. For whatever reason, if you could sneak in a 0, man, number 1.
Some coaches hate 0 though. Like I wore a 0 in college. Some people hate 0. Like some coaches are like, I'm not ordering that number. So it's definitely one of those where like if you can, it's sacred.
And I had a basketball coach in high school, man. He only ordered even numbers, and I hated him for that. I hated him for that. He didn't order zero, and he only ordered jerseys by even numbers. We had
So
no
somebody got to wear 12,
yes,
14,
yes.
16.
So essentially,
That's trash.
essentially, you was boxing for number 10,
Uh-huh.
and then because it's only evens, you like settle it for 50 as a secondary, and then it's like who no one wants to wear 20, no one wants to
50
wear
is
30.
disgusting.
Yeah, so because he knew it too, because when I came over from football, 11 was my number. I had taken over 11, robbed him, we squabbled, I outran you, did everything, coaches approved, solid. So I came to basketball and I was like, yo, what's up? And he's like, nah, I only do even numbers. And 10 was already taken because the
Come
senior
on now. Yeah.
is so I'm already on varsity. So when you start your career, you don't then I could have switched by the time I got to a senior, but for whatever reason, that just seemed lame to me.
Yeah.
But so I was stuck with 20. And it's like
That's you know what? I give you this. 20 ain't that bad. It'd be worse to me if you would have had like 14 or 16 or 18. If you'd have had any of those, that would have looked way nastier than a 20.
Same thing with 22. This is before 24. Kobe's there, but that reference of the 24 wasn't what we know it to be now. Right. 28 just sounds disgusting. And same thing, especially by the time, and if you get to the 30s, 32.
Yeah.
34.
You're a big man at that point. Yeah.
Right. That's what. So you just go fit. So yeah, man, it's just like 20, and it's cool, but it's I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is what's left. Thanks.
Okay. Well, what we're getting into today, first and foremost, the cleaning list. Today's rundown for sports from here on out is going to be Abe's responsibility. He just found out in real time. We're going to show him how it's done because we're making a showman out of him. And I appreciate y'all giving the feedback on that. All it is, my guys, just running down what the topics are, what we plan on getting into, because, every single time we don't do that, and we'll see what else goes from there. So we're picking up where we left off last episode. Where does Kawhi go? If he's a free agent, what that looks like. We have things heating up. We're rounding down the corner for March Madness, so we're going to really lock in on what the brackets might start looking like, who's in there, who might be on the bubble if we get that far. And the NFL Combines got active, right? I'm all about the receiver drills. I'm all about the footwork personally, man. And then from there, got a couple questions for the homie A. We're going to keep it sports related, but what you got to add to that?
So just kind of how you touched on it, the NFL Combine is going to be kind of interesting to talk about because we've already gotten some news for football. You thought football was over, and it's not. It's back. It just needed a quick little, refresher. It's already back. We're already talking about quarterback moves. We're already talking about people that got franchise tagged. So football is right back into full swing with the drama. The NCAA tournament, it's around the corner. It's heating up more than ever. Big Ten champ has already been decided, and the first conference champ has already been crowned, and that's who, the University of Michigan. So handling business as we should. We look really good going into the tourney. And then obviously we got to touch on this NBA stuff because whether we like it or not, it's also heating up. It's also getting a little crazy. So we need to figure out what's happening for the next year and how do you get kicked out of a game on the sideline, Trae Young?
Yeah, see,
you just, what are we doing?
See, y'all heard it here, folks. Go ahead and move Kendrick Perkins out the way, right? We tired of the way that he sounds because you don't got a voice like Abe. You don't got a voice like Brother Abe over here, man. He's designed for this right here. What I also want to add in the midst of this, I know that there's a lot of people out there, and if you need somebody to sponsor, we are free of teams over here outside of the big blue. So I don't have a baseball team, right? So you're going to see me in many hats, but I just might as well just toss it out to the people. If you looking for a good platform to support, if you looking for some clean, good fun, and clean doesn't necessarily mean clean the words. We just keep it clean on the truth part. But we're going to start off with the Yankees, man. This goes for Nike. This goes for any other sports teams. This goes for the Spurs, the Falcons, the Wolverines, anybody that's out there, man. We open. The door's open. You feel what I'm saying? We do this like signing day.
Yeah. I thought just go pull out another hat and be like, never mind. And
Just keep going.
Yeah.
One thing you need to know about this platform: once you sign us, whoever your ops, they are ops. We about loyalty. We with it, man. You don't like the Mets? We don't either. Today, I'm anti-Red Sox.
Wow.
But if you talk to me nice, Boston, hey, let me know.
It can happen.
Okay. Kawhi Leonard is a topic. It is, right? But I'm going to throw a curveball because we do have a pivot. We do have some breaking news that I feel like we should talk about. It was announced that Kyler Murray is being released.
Mm-hmm.
I think this opens the football conversation pretty well because we can talk about the combine. The combines are there, but they go hand in hand, right? Because that means some draft picks might be in order. Are the Cardinals smart? Do we give up on Kyler Murray? Is this a chance for him to revamp? What teams potentially need him?
Is it smart? I'm going to address the first question. Is it smart for the Arizona Cardinals to let Kyler Murray go? I think this is a marriage that's gone bad a while back. Okay. So whether that was Kyler's fault, whether that was the organization's fault, the coaching changes, there's 1,000 things we could probably point to. Ultimately, though, both sides weren't happy. So I do think that this is probably in their best interest to move from Kyler Murray. Now, this whole we're going to release you before the next week, bearing we don't get any type of trade for you. I don't know if there's a team out there that's willing to give a draft pick up for him if they know you're going to drop him. Mm-hmm. Why would I send you an asset for a player that I probably want when I can just sign him for free agency money whenever he comes available? So that to me was a little weird to see in like the notification of like how this is going to play out, because how is it that you want my pick, but I can go get him from I don't know. You know how sometimes it might make sense for a team to trade because they can keep it within the salary cap and all that other stuff. That might be a better situation. But for me, if I have free agency money to get a secondary quarterback or a first quarterback, I can go get him for some cheap dollars. I don't have to pay him a max contract. So, in my opinion, I think it's good for both sides. I don't know where it's going to end up, but if we're talking about teams that can need him tomorrow, I mean, your Miami Dolphins need him. They need somebody bad at the helm.
Okay.
You're talking about like bigger teams, contenders. You might want to look at Atlanta. You might want to look at the Vikings. You might want to look at, I don't know. There's a few other teams that I'm thinking of, but they got a pretty decent quarterback right now. Like I was going to say the Saints. They have Show, though. And he's turning out pretty good. So, like, nah. Atlanta, you guys have Penix and whatever mayhem happens between that. So maybe bringing Kyler on might juice things up. I don't know. But the Minnesota Vikings, I mean, they've gone all in for J.J. McCarthy. So if you don't get somebody that can potentially be your starting quarterback, barring this doesn't go your way, you might be in a bad situation. So I'm curious to think, where do you think Kyler Murray should go?
I'll start at the top of my own question. I'm in agreement with you. This was long overdue.
Yeah.
Right. We've been seeing the public, or what's been known to the public as far as the turmoil that's been going on between Arizona and Kyler Murray. Okay. What I run into now is, from what we do know, are you mentally prepared to play? Part of the reason why I believe they're releasing this is because I'm sure they tried to market him. I'm sure that they tried to make it available. I didn't see anything where they were saying like, man, we are with Kyler, other than the typical political statements that we see be made. And a lot of sports like, oh, he's one of us and whoop-de-whoop. And it's like, nah, I didn't even really see too much of that. Right. So when we're thinking of it, I can understand all the reasons that they release. And it's like, you know, your performance and your injury. So it's like after he tore his ACL in 2022, I believe, and he hasn't looked the same since. He's been up and down. He's been in and out. Like he's only, I think, in the last season, he put up 962 yards. I'm looking at the stats, like 962 yards, 6 touchdowns in 5 games before he had another season-ending injury. That was last year, right? You have the whole thing of you're spending more time playing games than watching film. So now there's I don't know if we ever proved it. It's either a rumor or it may be a fact, which is worse, that they have to put it in your contract. You need to focus.
Right.
Okay. You were benched before you got hurt. And they started Jacoby Brissett. Your contract also made it difficult to put you on the market to trade, because he got one of them fat contracts too. I think it was like 36, 37 mil. And the Cardinals are willing to release and pay that because they would owe him for 2026 just to avoid any other guarantee. So they owe him 36.8. There it is, 36.8 million. Still, that's how bad of a situation it is that they're saying, here, go away. So what that now looks like to the rest of the scheme, I think that in itself starts to answer certain questions for me when I'm looking at what team he could possibly be on. We discussed this earlier here. Tua and him, to me, is the same thing. So he's faster than Tua. Do we think he has a better cannon?
Tua's got a pretty good cannon. Just accuracy has always been the question.
Right. Okay. Does Kyler have better accuracy in your opinion? Give or take. Okay. So we range in the same, both undersized.
Yeah.
All right. So if Miami picks him up, to me, that's the same thing. I don't know if he's mentally prepared to be in Atlanta.
That is a harsh
good.
environment, because it is win now for you guys.
And so it sounds good on paper because we know what he's capable of.
Right.
I'm looking at it as like, okay, to his credit, I never want to knock him. He is the greatest quarterback to ever play in Texas high school football. You've never lost.
Yeah.
You are a legend in the state. Cool.
Crazy.
You then go to college. You have a pretty successful college career as well. A lot of wins. I don't know after that, was he prepared to be in this type of situation to lose? And then the way that we've seen him come up, especially, Allen, Texas to Norman, Oklahoma, to, is it Scottsdale that the Cardinals play, or is it Phoenix?
It's a great question. I think it's Scottsdale, though.
Okay. Either way, them 3 cities and his personality don't look like Atlanta.
Yeah.
Sound like Atlanta. Don't feel like Atlanta, which could be a great thing, or it could go very, very bad. And if you're already in that risk, Penix coming back, we don't know what he's going to look like. We can slightly touch on the Falcons are going to release Kirk Cousins. I am not sure, but it would seem like if Kyler is getting his 36.8, you might be able to get him on a lower end deal.
Yeah, because he's already made his money.
Yeah, so a 1-year deal, though, as opposed to one of these teams are going to sign him. Minnesota is taking a chance. I thought Indy, if you can get him on a 1 year, because they're going to have to draft somebody. It seems like Anthony Richardson might be out, which would also tell me that's where the Falcons are going to throw stupidity at. Right? If I know my Falcons and I know how stupid you can be, and based on your recent QB history, you're going to try to throw money.
The way you phrased that was perfect. Where they're going to throw stupidity at, that was perfect. Yeah.
You do every season to do a boneheaded move. And
that sounds like the right one.
Yeah, like I'm already watching y'all. Y'all don't want to pull the trigger on James Pierce. We know it's tough, man. Because how do you release somebody that it took 7 officers to take down? That's your defense right there. If he could do that to them, we
Where was
see
that
how the
energy on the
offensive line.
field? Come on, man.
No, he was the defensive
Okay,
rookie
I
of the
know,
year.
I know.
We saw
I
the
know,
energy.
That's different though. That
It is.
energy is different. That's the sack leader of the season right there. If you got
You
that
feel
type
me?
of energy.
That's where I understand you got 11 of them, though. You did get
Okay.
11. You did.
It
So
wasn't 23. That's all I'm saying.
wasn't 23, but you got half as a rookie.
Okay.
you did. I'm thinking potentially Andy.
Please don't send them to the gauntlet of like any of the New Yorks. Just don't do it.
No, not the New Yorks, but Pittsburgh needs a QB. Aaron Rodgers is gone.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh would also offer a contract. Now it'd be interesting to see what how you meld with the coach. Pittsburgh's in a brand new situation.
Mm-hmm.
New coach for the first time in a while.
Mm-hmm.
We still don't know if Aaron comes back, but even if he does, if I can have Aaron Rodgers on a 1-year deal, and I can sign Kyler Murray for you to get revamped and figure it out, and it may not be perfect for Pittsburgh, but that's a situation where I wouldn't mind spending a little bit, especially knowing that first year you get your 36.8. So this first year,
yeah, I ain't gotta pay you.
Show me.
Yeah.
The Jets.
Don't do that.
I'm
that's where he could go to get like a 3 to 4 year contract, but like I don't think that's where he should go. You'll be in the same situation you're in now.
Is he aiming to be a winner?
I'm sure he's aiming to not be hurt because his offensive line can't stop water going through a well.
I watched him give up on the Cardinals. They weren't great, but they were doing okay to start the season. I don't even want to take that away. They had a winning record.
I'm not.
Are you trying to win? No, that's what I'm saying. Are you trying to win? Because the Cardinals had enough for you to be competitive. So are you trying? Sure. You got benched when they were trying to be competitive. Is more so what I'm saying. So is he trying to win? And I'm not sure if he is. If you're chasing the bag, New York's there.
Yeah.
That might be the only.
His other option, he was drafted 9th overall. Go play baseball.
I wonder if that's still open for him. Because you could do that.
They have the rights to him. He was drafted number 9 in the overall draft to like the Oakland A's. He can go.
Mm-hmm. No, but I'm saying, yes.
Oh, you mean with like the football situation because he's.
Or is he prepared to transfer to that? Might be where I'm at. I don't know if your skills are still there because it's been 6 years, 7 years since you've been in the league.
But maybe. Somebody like Kyler, he was dangerous at both. I mean, the man got drafted 9th overall. Like,
yeah, he was nice.
It'd be different if he was like 2nd, 3rd, 4th. You know what I'm saying? Like he was back in them other rounds where they just kind of threw a pick just to say if he ever comes to play baseball, we'll have the rights to him. They opted to use a top 10 pick to make sure that if he ever crossed over into that path, he's got to come to be an Oakland A. That to me says you're a different type of player. So it might be for him to just go try it out. I don't know. I'm not saying Kyler doesn't deserve to be in the NFL. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve to be somebody starting NFL quarterback because I still think he's as talented as the rest of them. But right now, to your question and to your point, is he willing to like win? Does he want to win? Or is he, out there chasing the bag? We don't know. And both is not wrong.
Vegas?
Not with Mendoza there. You're not going to see that field at all.
So you think Mendoza is a guaranteed draft for the Raiders?
This is the Mendoza Bowl, basically. So, like, all the teams that were tanking were trying to figure out how they're going to get their hands on him. It was Dante Moore before that, but then whenever Dante couldn't figure it out and got his butt smacked in the game versus Mendoza, it was Mendoza ever since. So I don't see the Raiders switching gears not this late.
Okay. That's tough for Mendoza. I hate that for you because it's not like their line got better, and I'm sure he already texted Ashton like, "What pads do I need under my pads?"
Well, that's the part that sucks about this process, right? Is because these great rookies have to go into a situation that's not great. You just were on
Yeah,
a team that was so successful. You had everything that was there for you, the facilities, the coaches, the training. You had everything you needed and the players to be successful at the highest level of college football. And then you've got to go into the NFL and you've got to throw it together with some scraps. And whether you win or lose, they're going to be looking at you. And that's
at
the part
you,
that's the part that sucks about the business, but you're getting paid very well to take that heat.
and it's like you are okay. We can probably start having that type of conversation about the NFL because what you're saying is so factual and it does go beyond that. The NFL is so difficult because they put this type of expectations on quarterbacks where you take all the blame for the failures. And I think of certain people where it could either be Kyler, because it's not like Kyler was drafted to a great situation. Most of the quarterbacks aren't drafted to a great situation. So the same way that throughout the season, you and I are going back and forth on someone like Trevor Lawrence,
Mm-hmm.
CJ Stroud,
Mm-hmm.
Bryce Young having to go from being at Alabama, being a championship winner, where you're at. Jalen Hurts, we have the
Mm-hmm.
range. Joe Burrow getting the pass, but we've seen how Joe has played out.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the quarterbacks. Forgetting that there's 10 other people on the field, forgetting that they're the worst team for a reason, because
Right.
there's tanking in the NFL, yes, but it's not the same as basketball. Tanking in the
Right.
NFL often happens because you're not really tanking on purpose. You're just terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the Raiders are terrible.
Top
Tanking
down.
was more of if I can maximize this much more of a margin to confirm I'm terrible. The Giants weren't good. You have teams like that, like it's just a bad overall situation.
Yeah. Let me
That
say it real quick. My definition of tanking, I know you can do better.
yeah,
We've seen the product on the field. I know you can do better. You pulled that last second stunt there because you took your best player out the game. That's why the
yeah,
NBA's in trouble because we watching you be up 15, but then you lose by 10 because you benched the boy for the whole fourth quarter. We saw that.
we
We
saw it.
saw that, yeah. But in the
Yeah.
NFL, them boys play every down, and then we sitting there scratching our heads, going, "Man, I thought he was all right." And then you just, keep it moving.
So now as a QB, you get thrown in there, and history didn't like it initially, but you see things like that. And if I'm a Mendoza or even if I'm a Murray, because I can understand Murray going back to college because he sees what it's looking like right now. You got mad at Eli for demanding a trade, and did he do
Yep.
it from a place of privilege and whatnot? Yes, but it made sense at that time. Now that
Yep.
you have hindsight, so if I'm looking at it, I just saw what happened to Ashton Junty. I saw what happened to Shador, even though it was supposed to go a particular way. Jackson Dart was struggling. It's like, okay, I may not want to go there. That's just for the QBs, right? That's just for the QBs because we also have people. We know there's Jamarcus Russell, and then there's also people with talent that you still might be hard pressed to tell me. And I'm not a defender per se of him, but if Johnny didn't get stuck in Cleveland, where does he end up? With the
We'll
talent
never
that he
know.
had, what can you tell me that is significantly better about Baker Mayfield that Johnny Manziel didn't have?
Right.
Right? What's the difference between Johnny and Kyler? Not much. It's
No.
play style, size,
Mm-hmm.
quick,
Mm-hmm.
can scamper, throw
Yep.
you a dart here and there, excitement, electric, all that good jazz. And so now when you get here to a Kyler, you get stuck in these situations where you take the draft, you hope that the QB's happy, and you take this risk because the other part of it, this is just the QBs, but we also know that NFL contract for the rookies ain't as sweet as it is over yonder in other sports, right? So you happy to be the QB, they gonna blame you, but at least I don't walk away with whatever beating these running backs just took just for you to tell me you're worthless after the first 4 years that you play anyways.
How you go
Which
get a
is your
Super
rookie
Bowl
contract.
ring and you ain't got no contract on the table? Kenneth Walker, we need justice for you. That's great. Charbonnet goes down. You carry the team for 2 games and make sure you win the Super Bowl, knowing good
You're
and
the
well it's going to be a
MVP.
defensive game. You're the MVP, and you ain't got no contract. I hope
What?
they didn't franchise tag you because they got a contract on the way. That is my hope and prayer for you, because if they do not, this is an injustice for the running backs across the entire league.
And hindsight again, was Zeke off? Not going by how he played after the contract, but if this is what we're dealing with, demand your money. He didn't pan out, and the Cowboys happen to be right in that. But we see what it looks like for running backs. Bijan had to get his new contract. Saquon went out of his way to go get his new contract. We see it. Like, you got to demand it, but you have to be so nice. And we saw the pushback that they gave even to someone like a Saquon Barkley.
Yep.
It wasn't his fault that the line was bad. He was doing this despite of.
Right.
If you don't do it, they may not be in a position to do what Barry Sanders did, but this seems to be a repeat thing for the NFL. Yep. So to wrap it up with at least Kyler, I can admit this is the three teams that from my side, that makes sense. Atlanta would be number one.
Unfortunately, I know you don't feel good saying that, but it is what it is.
Because he has so much upside. I'm just also prepped for what the downside is. I'm realistic on that. But the upside could outweigh it. You got the offensive weapons in place, because that they are the one team that is like, you just have to plug somebody that can show up and believe in themselves. Really believe in you, throw the ball. Kyle Pitts is always open.
Yep.
He's make fantasy owners happy. Make them taking that risk on him worth it. You have Drake London, who's developed into the star that he is. You still have Bijan. You can make it happen. It's a dome stadium. You're used to playing in the dome.
Yeah.
Most of your outside of going to Carolina and Tampa, and you rarely see Carolina in the winter like that. Great games. Play action with Bijan. Bootleg.
Sounds good.
Lead options. Vertical shots. Solid. Great upside. Could constantly be a top 10 offense. Minnesota, receiving core is elite. That receiving core is elite. We don't know if Justin Jefferson's still happy. I've been seeing rumors over there. I don't know what that means.
You wouldn't be either.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be either.
If McCarthy was my QB, I'm not happy. But if you give me somebody, it's Justin, Jordan, Addison, TJ Hawkinson. QB friendly offensive system. You might need a running back. I think Aaron Jones, good years are as far behind him as his locks, unfortunately.
See, now I know he's not go there. Leave that man hairline alone.
and then I still have the Raiders, but if they're getting Mendoza, understood. How do you feel about Tampa? Because Baker only has how many years do you expect of it, right? I think this was the window of opportunity for what they had.
I mean, but Baker's still balling. It'd be different if he wasn't showing up every game. I don't know. If he's willing to be backup quarterback, that's probably his best spot. I don't really see Kyler wanting to make that move. Obviously, as a starter, franchise player, that's a hard line to fall on. So I'd still say no to Tampa right now.
Okay. Fair enough. Who Pittsburgh is still there.
I told you mine is Miami. It may not look sexy. They might go into the draft and shake things up. Maybe they go get another player. But as of right now, I mean, there's not too many spots where he can go where he could immediately be effective. Miami is definitely one of them.
Okay. Who could take his spot that you've seen from the combines?
I mean, Mendoza, straight off the bat, could definitely take his spot. I don't know. There's a few quarterbacks that I think could take his spot. If I had to list them, though, I mean, you're talking about maybe,
I'm trying to pull it up now.
Yeah, 2 or 3 quarterbacks, because the top 10 right now is not really quarterback heavy. It's mainly defensive players, edge rushers. Mendoza is definitely in that top 10, but it's not heavy. if you want to go, I mean, man, there's not the projected. There's not another quarterback taken in the first 25 picks, 26, 27, 28. First round has one quarterback being taken, and that's Mendoza. So that's what kind of draft this is right now. That's just predictions. Don't yell at me. That's just predictions. It's not even. So this might be a great year for Kyler to go shopping. It might be a great year. I thought the Vikings were going to trade for Mac Jones. I thought that was going to happen. Because remember, Mac showed that he could really kind of step up last year. I don't know if you depend the whole season on a guy like him, but he showed that he can still ball.
They're showing the if you play for the Jets, it's not your fault role. Okay, before we get deeper into the combine, let me ask you this. Is Kyler more sought after? And I know how crazy this question sounds, but this is how questionable his display of talent and his mentality has hindered him.
Mm-hmm.
Is he more sought after than Kirk Cousins?
No. And the only reason why I say that, and it hurts me to say it, but I'm just trying to be realistic. In my mind, people want a system quarterback. My mind, if somebody's looking for a quarterback right now on the teams that they have, other than like Miami, who just needs a playmaker, you're looking for somebody to plug and play. You need somebody in the Viking system that can distribute the ball, right? You need somebody that's in Pittsburgh that can get the ball out. You've got DK Metcalf. You've got the wide receivers. You need somebody that can get the ball out. Kurt might be a better option in that situation than for Kyler Murray. I don't feel good saying it. I really don't, because I think the world of Murray. I really do, because he brings it every time when he's healthy. He's looking like damaged goods right now, and we all know it.
If Indy can sign Phillip Rivers, Indy can sign Kirk Cousins.
Factual. Did you see that he was in like the conversations to be a coach this year after stepping on the field last year? Oh my gosh. What are we doing?
I can't knock you for that, because we've seen a lot of players turn coaches.
Yes.
I'm not mad at that.
Yes.
I understand too that insurance is so beneficial when you have so
we know. We know.
So many kids. Him and Cromartie can line their amount of kids up on the field and play a full 11 on 11.
Well, Cromartie's not going to know the players on the field, though.
Why you got to do that? See, now look who taking shots.
The interviews on the internet, that ain't my fault, man. You should have been prepared. They came and asked you about your kids. You said, oh.
Why you got to do that? Okay. All right. Have you seen from your side people whose projections have moved up or down when it comes to the draft?
So projections, I mean, obviously the conversation that's been like taking over the internet is Sonny Styles for that team. Man, you pull up his like high school basketball clips of him just LeBroning everybody's stuff off the backboard, showing his impressive vert for the combine. I mean, it's 40 time. I mean, talk about just a slew of players coming out of that school right now. I mean, you got Caleb Downs and all them. Like, they've got a really good slew of players that are coming out this year that I'm pretty excited to see what they do in the league now that they're not wearing that stupid red and gray jersey. So it looks they got some good talent over there. Miami, I mean, they've got a couple like offensive linemen coming out. That'll be good for them. But, I mean, outside of Mendoza and then Bailey for Texas Tech, I mean, everybody else is kind of just shuffled through the top 10, top 15, top 20, because the need for what they need is so funny to what they draft. So you and I both know a team will need an offensive lineman, but they'll take a safety. You know, it's just like, it is what it is. That's why the draft is, that's why the draft is fun. Because you'll be like, oh, they need a quarterback bad. And they're like, doo-doo-doo, we'll take outside wide receiver. You're like, what? So who will throw him the ball? Yeah.
Okay. I don't disagree with you there. The combine is kind of interesting. I don't want to take away the credit to what these gentlemen do, but there's a decent amount of offensive linemen that you don't know the offensive linemen, and they never get the credit for how much they're worth in making all your flashy plays happen. But it's a lineman heavy draft with some defensive players there. It's not the most prolific as like we were saying with QBs, so it makes it interesting to watch because all the first round picks is going to be a bunch of who's. If you know, they're going to obviously show the game film. They're going to show you. It's like it's unfortunate too, because on the least sexy of game films falls the offensive lineman. Your rewards are a pancake or follow through, and that's essentially you laying on top of somebody. Which, if that's ever happened to you on the football field, bro, it's not.
No.
It's not fun, man, especially if you're a smaller guy. I feel sorry for all their knees, all the times that they've been exposed to chop blocks, their ankles. They're the most geared up of all positions. Ankle braces on titanium.
Knee brace.
Knee braces. Adamantium.
Looking like Iron Man out there.
Yeah, elbow pads, vibranium. They're just geared. They're geared up for whatever, man. So it's looking like one of those drafts. But we did have a shakeup. Go ahead and get it off your chest. I know this pains you. You lost Batman to your Batman, because I don't want to disrespect him and call him Robin. As a Detroit Lions fans, man, if you were to give your final goodbyes to Brother Montgomery, man, y'all let the Texans snag him, which also tells us about Joe Mixon. Yeah, brother, you might be cooked.
Oh, it's over for you, baby.
Yeah, you might be cooked, buddy. Yeah, man. I'm sure somewhere in that contract there's an exclusion clause that specifies something along the lines of motorcycles and ATVs. You tried to have the surgery with nobody catching on, and I understand you, because you know what? I would have did exactly what he did in that situation. I'm not beyond that. We keep it clean here. If it was me and you told me there's a chance that the surgery could go right and you never know, and there's plenty of time, I could skip minicamp. I can make an excuse.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Tough.
Yep.
Tough.
We've seen this in ballers.
Yeah.
We've seen this.
Montgomery's gone, man.
But to Montgomery, I mean, obviously loved everything that he brought to the Sonic and Knuckles, duo that they had here. Obviously, I liked Montgomery. I mean, I had him on my fantasy. I raved for my team. I, rooted for my team all year. It really sucks to play with a top-tier running back like Gibbs. It's unfortunate. Not to say Montgomery was not, because obviously there's a reason why we went to go get him. He was doing good in Chicago. He's had success elsewhere. We know what kind of player he can be. But Montgomery wants to be RB1 for somebody, and that just can't be with us right now. It was cool to have the tandem if he was getting the shares, but there was games where he was getting 8 touches, 10 touches. Yeah. This is somebody who's used to getting 20, 30 touches a game. And we were barely turning to him because, to no fault of his own, Gibbs was turning up the field. He was eating up 80, 90 yards. So, there's nothing, you know what I'm saying? It's an unfortunate situation. I loved Montgomery on our team, but I understand why he would want to dip. And I'm not mad at him for wanting to leave.
I believe if he was getting the Charbonnet touches, y'all might still have him.
Yes.
I know Gibbs would be upset, but if he was getting the Charbonnet touches where it's like, yeah, man, go ahead, use your little energy, run down the field.
Yep.
you know who they feed. Yeah. Him in Houston is a great fit.
Yes. Yeah. I feel like we did right by sending him there, Yes.
I love this. It gives CJ a little bit of alleviation because Joe Mixon played beyond his means. I don't think anybody believed that he would be doing the numbers that he was doing before he got hurt, right? Nick Chubb started to show a little bit, but by the time he was really getting in the groove, you in the playoffs and you playing a team like Pittsburgh that's going to wear you down, and they're still not sure. Montgomery is a great pickup. The only way they could have did better was sending him back to Chicago and maybe taking Swift back, like you said. Is the only way. This you get to be back there just slap CJ in the back of his head every now and then, like, hey bro, focus, give me the ball, because I'm sure I would hope in my heart of hearts that the Texans, now that they have Montgomery, go out of their way to get a offensive line.
Have to
give you a couple pieces.
Have to.
You make the run again. Yeah.
Have to.
Yeah. Great pickup. What else is happening in the NFL? Who else is roaming around? What's been the news?
So the biggest news was the Kyler Murray. We haven't gotten too much outside of that yet, but it does look like the Houston Texans are projected to take an offensive tackle. Says they want the guy from Utah, so I'm okay with that. I think as long as they get something on the interior of the offensive line, they'll be fine, because it's just, you can't have CJ running around like Pat Mahomes. Like, you got to get him some protection, or he's not going to be effective.
Yeah. Does somebody go after Mike Evans?
You kind of see where the draft shakes out, and then you go after him.
Until he was hurt last year, he was guaranteed 1,000 yards.
For sure. And I'm not saying that he's not a player that you need to go get, but I'd like to see where the draft shakes out before I go grab him. Because if there's an opportunity on the table where I can go get somebody young, not have to pay him jack, and they can come in and be a Jordan Addison, or they can come in and be a Justin Jefferson or something like that, I'd kind of rather lean on that than having to pay Mike Evans $10 million, $15 million, and wonder if he'll be able to fit within our system.
Okay. So before we transition out of here, we gonna go back. Last person that's on this list, the one that got the sports side kind of viral. This was our first big clip. We was talking about this gentleman, AJ Brown.
Didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're the Eagles, you trade him for picks. I don't think you trade AJ for another player. I think you trade him for like a second-round pick, third-round pick, something like that, so you can get your worth out of him.
Who? Because I have a place in mind.
I mean, yours better not be Atlanta.
No. No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. If I'm being realistic on where I think AJ should go, it's Buffalo. Still waiting on your number one wide receiver. There he is. Waiting. You got Keon Coleman, who, he's good, but he's not panning out how you want it to. You've got all these pieces of wide receivers that you're trying to get attached to. That's great. You want the real deal? There he is.
Okay. Same division. We was close. I'm thinking New England. One thing they don't have is a receiver. He's familiar with Vrabel. He came from that system. Give Drake May, give him a receiver. You got the running backs back there. You can age out Ramondre if you want to. You still got Henderson. The offense is there. We don't know what's happening with Stephon Diggs' case. Jokes, non-jokes. We don't know. AJ kind of opens the door. If not there, Kansas.
Stop it. That's a team I can totally see doing it too. You want to talk about how Atlanta just throws something? I can see Kansas City throwing all the chips down for AJ Brown just to piss Philly off. I'm not mad at it. Obviously, it would be a great addition to that team. I think it would be crazy to see him like Worthy and Hollywood Brown and all of them like on the same team, because that's a lot of weapons for someone who doesn't need a lot to get it done.
They kind of do need a lot now. Kelsey's not Kelsey. We know this.
Yeah.
Rashid Rice is in trouble again. We don't know what the updates are, but it's not looking positive.
What now?
You didn't see during the season. All right, was it right after?
Oh, okay. You're talking about that. I thought it was something else that had happened recently. That's why
No, bro, they hadn't even settled that.
Okay. I thought, listen, you saw my face. I'm like, what now, man? God,
Yeah. So he's in his predicament.
Right.
So now it looks like you do need a receiver. Hollywood Brown, unfortunately, is not a number one. Juju is still probably top 5 most annoying receivers still currently playing in this league. Juju is everything that's fake about Golden Tate. Like, you want to be Golden Tate, but you're not Golden Tate. You're not Victor Cruz. I'm trying to think of that. So Kansas is them, and last but not least, Baltimore.
Oh yeah. Those are some hot spots that you named. I almost told you, because obviously I think Buffalo is a top destination that he could go to. The other one, low key, that I was thinking about, and I know you probably gonna hate this, but I don't know what they're doing with Brian Thomas, but I would say Jacksonville.
Oh, because I don't know what he is only a sophomore. He just did sophomore season. Them two paired together would.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine on both sides of the field you got to worry about? That'd be nasty.
And with Strange as their tight, Strange as that'd be, woo. Yeah. If you are they both number ones? Can Brian Thomas play in the middle? And you got Travis Hunter coming back.
With their defense too, if their defense is top tier like it was last year, and you bring in a weapon like A.J. Brown, with that frees up Trevor Lawrence, so then when them deep balls do get thrown, it's just A.J. and whoever he has a stiff arm. That would let Travis Hunter tear up your interior and them little slot wide receivers. Let Thomas get his, and then just gun it down the field to Brown. I think you have everything you need in order for, if it doesn't become successful, you go, okay, Trevor, it's your fault.
Yeah. Okay. Random just dawned on me as we're talking about receivers. I remember looking this up because it became a sleeper notification in the middle of the fantasy season, right? Best case scenario, I have to put this out there for the disclaimer. Best case scenario, with NFL approval, Henry Ruggs is coming home from jail.
Is he really?
Best case scenario, he would be eligible as of August 2026. Worst case, he would have to sit out this season, possibly be available for the 2027 season. If the NFL approves it.
I mean, the NFL is the place for anybody to come on back.
He's the place for felons?
I mean, while you bring that up, what's happening with Tyreek Hill?
Okay. Can we see a Kansas reunification? There's some names. See, Tyreek would be, I think, at the no disrespect him, because we don't know where you're coming off the injury. 2, I would never disrespect what capabilities he has. If Tyreek would be okay with being a number 2, especially at the slot, his world opens up. Now, I don't know if he has anything pending in Florida that will hold him back, but man,
yeah,
if we could get you out of the slot for so many teams, I'm just, there's a lot of potential there. Imagine signing Tyreek and AJ Brown if you're Kansas. I'm shooting for both. He wouldn't be enough to turn around a Josh Allen situation, because I don't think Tyreek can cover the fact that you just don't have a stronger, taller guy. Mm-hmm. I don't think, same thing, we're looking for AJ Brown. You wouldn't benefit New England, because you would still have Stephon Diggs there. But if you could run the slot in a Minnesota, if they get a quarterback, if you could run the slot in, I'm so tired of Ray McLeod. Hey, come to Atlanta. You might end up with 8 more kids, but
wow.
Is what it is, right? Dallas wouldn't need him.
I mean, you could even send him out to like the Chargers.
They need a
I know
number
you got
one,
McCartney. I know you got him, but like you could
but
throw
they
him
need a
into the
number
mix.
one more than they need a Hill because
Yeah.
Quentin Johnson's still developing, but I don't know how long Keenan Allen could still do
So
it.
then slide in AJ.
Yeah, fair. I
I'm
don't know
high
if
on
they.
AJ. I'm really
I
high
am
on
too.
AJ. So I
We
think
had
he
the
could go
debate.
anywhere. Yeah. I think he can go anywhere.
We only think of, what's funny about this? Most of the times we have these conversations, we only think of winning teams. We never assume a player is going for the bag and
Right.
goes,
And they
and
might.
goes to some bumps. Yeah, we doing all this talking. He gonna sign with Cleveland.
Oh my God. But see, those type of signings let you know what the player's in for. If you're trying to win a championship, you don't sign with Cleveland. If
You
Cleveland
know,
throws you the stupidest bag ever, you sign with Cleveland. And I'm not gonna be mad either way. I'm a no.
we gonna say all this about AJ Brown, and then it's gonna come out he's trying to go back to Tennessee.
Lord. Just to be in purgatory. Just why you must really be down on yourself if that's what you do, bro.
Oh man, I also think Devontae Adams forces a trade, but that's just me. That's just me. Okay, Kawhi might be a free agent. While I pull up what's the potential of this, where would you like to see him go? And we know the bias, so go ahead, get that out the way. You don't even need to go in great detail. I just think he says no as long as he's still over there. But that's just me. I'll let you have the floor.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I would love to see him in a Lakers jersey, especially how he was hooping in the All-Star game. Bring that to the Lakers. Don't bring that other nonsense that you got going on right now. Bring that energy to the Lakers, and I'd be perfectly okay. But realistically, if I'm looking at the league and I'm trying to figure out where we could slide Kawhi in, where he wouldn't really disrupt things, now that's kind of like a vague thing because obviously he's going to disrupt it in some way. Either he's not going to practice as much as everybody else, he's going to get the preferential treatment. Just depends on where he lands. But if we're just having a basketball conversation, I'm not mad at seeing Kawhi strap up for the Spurs again. I'm just going to put that out there. As a defensive stopper, as a leader, as somebody who's won the Finals MVP, who's won 2 NBA championships, I'm not mad at slotting him in with the Spurs to give them the edge that they need as a veteran look. Could you imagine the link between Kawhi and Wemby? Could you imagine what you would not be able to get past the free throw line? That, to me,
it'd be Kawhi, Wemby, and Castle. I'm running a full court press.
You can't get past half court without my say-so. I'm getting back for the entertainment of TV. I don't have to, though.
I would be trying to determine between a 1-3-1 or or what would I do? I could
do 3-2. I'd do 3-2. I would force you somewhere and make you turn the ball over.
Who's on ball? Like who's at the front of the three?
Castle.
And then you would have
Fox. I'm putting Kawhi in one of them corners.
Where you put De'Aaron? Because you gotta remember he there too. Because that's why I said 1-3-1, where I could have you playing free safety in the middle. But I also understand it.
I just don't want to leave Wemby alone in the interior. I know he's okay to be there by himself, but if I put him in a 3-2, he's still able to stretch the floor to get those, 18-foot blocks and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So if you put De'Aaron at the one at the top, you put Castle and Kawhi on the side, and then I've got Wemby who will float. And then I've got, that's so whoever you want to put there like that, that's nasty.
Yeah, that's boy. Kawhi came back to San Antonio. If him and Pops were able to get on the horn and just be like, hey, Tony's gone.
Yeah.
Tony's gone.
Yeah.
Right? That wasn't us. That was him. That was him.
Him and all his shenanigans are gone. So
Golden State.
Are you in any of these scenarios that you're about to name off? Are you getting rid of anybody, or is this just Kawhi's a free agent and he's signing there? Because mine
He's
was
a free
he's
agent.
a free agent and he's signing there. Okay.
He's a free agent.
So Jimmy Butler comes back healthy. You've got Draymond Green, Kawhi Leonard, Steph, and then whoever you care to have at the 5 post. Horford, if he's got another year, whoever you keep at the 5.
Jackson Davis.
Right, that's fine. Okay, so then you have a solid bench coming off with Moody and Pod and Gary Payton and all that. So I'm not mad at that. I have no idea how Kawhi and Steph would mesh, though. That's a question mark for me. If anything bothers the King, I probably don't want to touch it.
Okay. I don't have any indication of Steph giving pushback because we saw him. I think what benefits this, we saw him open the door for KD.
Mm-hmm.
We saw him open the door for a possibility of where, okay, they're not just double teaming me everywhere I go. I still have to deal with some of the defensive side of when they might try to isolate me. But the same way, even with Jimmy being there, of how much pressure Jimmy takes off of Steph. Then if you had Kawhi there too, because I would assume if this worst case, because we're only discussing worst case scenario, if they void the entire contract,
right?
I don't believe that they do this in the middle of the season.
No.
I don't think so. So this would be something going into the summer. I also see them trying to drag their feet as long as they can before they do that type of death sentence, which was essentially what it would be for the Clippers.
Yeah.
And because of what it would garner in attention, you don't want to start the offseason with that. You would try to make it difficult for some teams, and make it happen in like August, September.
Mm-hmm. So real quick, just so we can recap for the people watching too, whenever Kawhi's contract is voided or they like null and void the whole trade, there are pieces that move back around, right? Like PG has to go back to OKC, or are they just going to like null and void his part because they don't want to touch any part? Because like Shea's supposed to go back to LA, like all that happened in the trade in order for it to happen. So I just don't know what part they're going to touch and what part they're not going to touch. So that's part of the question of what's going to happen with this whole scenario. Is like, do you gut it from the start because it's like a bad apple from the same tree, or do you just deal with Kawhi because Kawhi's had more extracurricular activities happening with the planting the trees and everything else, and then move forward with what you got?
Let me see.
Because ripping Shea from OKC would be absolutely terrible for the league.
So at least from what I'm reading, the worst case scenario, it wouldn't mean that every Clippers player go back to their old team. So it might just be Kawhi himself because he's still currently there.
Okay.
So they would void Kawhi's contract, make him an unrestricted free agent immediately. The Clippers would be fined lots of millions, and then they would be stripped of future draft picks, I believe.
Okay.
And potentially
because everything else is played out the way that it's supposed to play out. The main culprit behind this that they want to attack is Kawhi.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Kawhi and the Clippers. Yes. Okay.
Yes. And really in this situation, they're not even necessarily attacking him. It would be specifically the Clippers, because it's, at least the way that I'm understanding it, what can you put on him that you could prove he was aware that this was a nonsense business or he had a hand in it? If you tell me it's a business and you're a billionaire and maybe he didn't look into it, like you would have to put together some things to make it a fine on him. Do we assume that you had some type of no? Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. But to prove it the way that, because you had a whole LLC with a venture set up just for it to be a money laundering front, that's all on what's his name? Ballmer? Or who's he on?
The Clippers, Ballmer,
Yeah. Because they would be also banned, if I'm reading this correctly, the Clippers would also be banned from signing free agents for a period. This seems all focused on the team itself, stripped of multiple first-round picks, issue record fines and organizational discipline, and then the rest of the team would stay with them, which also would mean that's essentially setting them back into purgatory because nobody would want to re-sign with them. And you're stuck with Bradley Beal. you're stuck with Bradley Beal.
Hey, at least he'll fill some seats.
Yeah. So you just might be there. just for a long period of situation. The most likely outcome, at least the way that it's reading, is just heavy fines, loss in draft picks, and then possible contract adjustment. And Kawhi would be the extreme, like best case scenario for them. Kawhi becomes the extreme punishment versus the rest of like all those additional fines and whatnot. So it's still in the air. Is he kind of there? Who else would? If you can convince Trae Young and AD to play, do you go to Washington? No. You're not high on Washington?
Kawhi don't want no problems over there, bro. He don't want no issues on that side of the town, bro.
Why you shake your head like that, bro? You don't believe in Washington?
Because that just sounded crazy. I'm sure if they even called him on that bull, they'd be like, man, who is this playing on my phone? Get out, just click. Nah.
If this does happen, here's how I see it. He goes wherever the second best option. Him and Giannis would be whoever couldn't land this fish, they go for that fish.
Yeah.
Vice versa.
Yeah.
That's how I see the Kawhi situation playing out. If I could get Giannis, who's maybe a year or two younger than him,
right,
I'm okay with that. If I could get Kawhi, like, you win either way, but you would have to make a decision, and that's why I think that when the league ends up dropping this information, would really mess up certain things, because when you make that final decision will determine how the entire offseason looks. Now, if you want some excitement, if you want some talking points, you want some highlights to the NBA, you make it happen sooner rather than later. Where they gonna go, right? You'll see us, you and I, sitting here with whoever else chooses to sit with us, like, hey man, I'm Viva Los Spurs, like, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you be on here screaming, retire LeBron, go away, clear some space. Let us be free.
Nah, never.
Let us be free. Or potentially you be patient and go, I don't want neither of them because Jokic available after this season. I'm just giving you
still
game.
Ain't signed that extension. That's all I'm saying.
Still ain't signed the extension.
That's such a telling sign, bro.
You can't imagine how insufferable I will be if I was right. Because it's not you win because they be going to the Lakers.
That's not to say I'm not even gonna be mad at you. I'll give you props. I'm not even gonna be mad at you. I'll be like, thank you for putting that out there for me. All I gotta say is, Luka, hang on, brother.
You know who'd be tight?
On.
Homie in our group chat. Because I would never let him forget it.
Oh yeah.
I would never let him forget it.
Oh yeah. He'll make up some excuse.
Don't let me be out on that.
Yeah.
Man. Okay. Random question.
Yep.
Right before we get to Trae Young getting ejected off the bench and however you did that, you lose a bet.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You lose a bet.
Mm-hmm.
And a part of the stipulations of the bet is you have to name your children. You get 3 off teams or players that you despise the most. Those are the only options for your names.
Okay, so in this hypothetical, I've got 3 children, and I've got to name them off of the 3 teams I despise the most.
Either teams or a particular player, either or. They can only be named after them.
Paul Pierce. Just if we're coming right off the dome, one of the people I hate the most is Paul Pierce.
I didn't expect.
Yeah, I hate him.
He might be on many people's lists.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Especially how he talk wild now about, boy, I can go out there and get you 20 a game. You couldn't get 20 steps up and down the floor right now, bro. Like, stop it. Like, you were a good player, but, like, stop it. Paul Pierce is definitely up there. My second one is going to be a curveball, but you'll understand why. Rajah Bell.
Ooh.
You understand why, though. He tried to
Ooh,
take my
okay,
boy out on many
okay.
occasions, and I'm not a fan of it. So my hate for Rajah was way up here. And to this day, it still is. If I see a clip go by of him trying to, clothesline Kobe, um,
Not for
and
Steve.
then, huh?
You don't hate him for Steve?
I mean, it wasn't Kobe, My problem was with Kobe. You came at my dog, and that's crazy. So, I mean, obviously, everybody knows my hate for that team. I could never even I hate them so much. I couldn't even name my hypothetical child that, so that way I'd have to call him that every single day. I hate him that much.
You couldn't
So,
have a child named Buckeye?
nope, nope. Hate him that much too. So, nope. I'm going elsewhere with it. So if I'm going with like my third and final, I'd probably have to say Chris Webber.
Wow, you would betray a Wolverine
But the
to
way he
avoid
betrayed
calling someone
us,
a Buckeye?
I'd rather
He
call him
was
Chris
there.
Webber.
The Fab Five is still legendary in Michigan, despite what he did.
You're right.
You hate him more for that than you hate the idea of a child being named Buckeye. Because Paul's already tough. Like, why does dad hate me? Shut up, Paul.
Shut up, Raja. Yeah, whatever, dude. Yeah. No, Paul
Chris
Pierce.
Webber.
Bro, I'm not on my own with Paul Pierce. I'm with a big old group of people with Paul Pierce, bro. The way he still runs his mouth, the way he talks about how he was so much better than Dwayne Wade and all these other like Hall of Fame greats, he is delusional. The only success he had was when the other two people came to help him win a championship, and then they got shipped off together in other different destinations, and they didn't do jack after that. You had a decent career in Boston, but like you were nowhere near any of the echelon of the players that you always compare yourself to. Kobe Bryant is 100% over you. LeBron is over you. All these players, Dwayne, all these players are over you, bro. Trevor Ariza might be over you. So just stop the nonsense. Like, just cut it out. What Michael say again? Stop it. Get some help.
Okay. I don't know how it works, but I'll have to name a kid either Irish or Fighting Irish.
Wow. After this past year and how I saw that play out for you, I understand.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know the exact way to throw it, but it's Irish is a tough name. I don't know if I make it a middle name. The name will be Saint, but I'm gonna call you Ain't for most of your life. Just go ahead and get the brown paper bags like they used to have back in the day. Poke the little holes in it.
Yeah.
Is there a player?
Gotta be.
Does get on my nerves, but am I trying to think of a player?
Rashad McCants is working his way up that list for me too.
He's
I ain't had no beef with him. He's just not relevant in that space.
Yeah, he made himself relevant because of this whole thing, but I didn't have no ill will against him. It's just
I didn't, but the way he talks is crazy. Yeah. I could have had Kobe 81 points. That's why, boy, it's been good. Remember, he just like cut the kid feed off after that. He was like, stop it. Yeah. Nah.
Trying to think of a team. Man United, because I don't have a player that I hate, so it would have to be
really. Nobody comes to mind that you've been watching and you're just like, I cannot stand this dude. Not one.
No, I will say a lot of the times if I felt the way towards a player, it was typically circumstantial.
Which is fine, but you can still hate the player.
Well, because depending on how that played out, if they got traded, I was like, okay, I'm cool.
Okay.
Right. Like Drew Brees, in my respect for QBs, outweighs the fact that you did this playing for the Saints. right?
Okay.
I would have had him there if the refs didn't give us the redemption of watching his player get completely obliterated on that pass interference and then not
Yes.
throwing the flag. Oh,
Yes.
wow. Because
Justice is served.
Because you would be in talks of the GOATs. They were clearly going to win the Super Bowl
Right.
that year.
Right.
There was no way of stopping them.
Right.
You stop that. We don't have to hear him and no Peyton, no Tom. We barely hear you in the Aaron conversation. That one, matter of fact, I might have to name a kid after the cornerback that blasted those.
Just to have that remembrance come up. Yeah,
then name him after the head ref.
Wow.
Who just allowed that to go.
Nah, see, that ain't somebody you hate, though. That's somebody you praise, so you can't do that.
I don't know if I have a player. I don't know if I have a player. Yeah, man, I may not have a player.
I could list you 3 more players that got on my last nerve. So for you to not have one is hey, it is what it is. Because I know you have certain teams that like with Atlanta and everything else. I just felt like you would hate the New England Patriots. That's just me.
Because that's on us.
Okay, see, that's what I was about to say.
You know
that's
what I'm
about
saying?
to say. Like it's not their fault. They just crumbled.
Based off of that, I can name a kid Falcon.
Dang, love-hate.
Called a love-hate relationship.
Yeah. Nah,
that's on us. I get only other person I think I would hate is the judge over the Mike Vick trial.
Wow.
That's the only other person I would hate. I don't know what that turns out into, but the judge over the Mike Vick trial. Yeah, I don't have a player. Look at me.
All right.
Not being a hater.
Look at you progressing. I'm still hanging on to that hate for us. Don't worry. I got enough for both of us.
Well, in the city of brotherly love, I think where we could head this conversation to, man. I want to talk about what's happened with Embiid, bro.
Have we seen a decline like this so fast before in like a superstar?
With a loose definition of what a superstar is, I know what they were touting him to be at the time. Mm-hmm. May not be exactly the same, but Andrew Bynum.
Yeah, because he was supposed to be it, barring the injuries.
Yeah. Also went to Philly and had the same issue. Didn't he get injured bowling?
We don't need to talk about Andrew Bynum in Philly because the last thing we need to talk about is his hair. That boy.
Elton Brand, but he wasn't on it. He wouldn't be a superstar. A superstar decline.
So just to make that point, I don't know if we've seen someone that we've told to like his caliber, to like his level of play, MVP status, prior year, conversation stuff, to just flat. I don't know if we've seen this before in our recent years, because usually there's a little bit of a fall off, but it's not anything to this magnitude. Players get injured, players get hurt. There's a lot that you kind of have to run into the responsibility of, but I don't know. It's really tough to think and see, is there a situation where a player has gotten to that point? I don't know.
As far as a superstar goes, because we haven't. The reason why we haven't seen it is he's injured. Yes. Mm-hmm. The players that I would think of, it was such a severe injury that's the main reason, where you can say Joel's injured and we known this coming in, but he garners so much superstar attention. It feels different. Like I would think of a Derrick Rose, but that was strictly because of the ACLs, mm-hmm. right? And then when he came back from that, craziest part was he was putting up very similar numbers. He just wasn't jumping.
I was just about to say, depending on what injury, which one you're talking about, because he tore a few ACLs, but it seemed about every single time that he came back, he was just as good before he left. That last one kind of took him out.
His jump shot got better. He became a mid-range monster. He was killing in Minnesota. Dwight?
He might have been on my hate list, by the way.
That's homophobic.
I don't know. I think the white was good, but it wasn't like the white was out there getting you 35.
Blake Griffin.
That might be a better comparison because Blake was setting the league on fire, and that injury, that ACL, jumping a little too high. Yeah, I mean, I think Blake is probably a better comparison. I still don't think Blake was ever the player Joel was.
Boogie.
I'm okay with that comparison as well. I still think Joel edges him out.
Because Boogie just had 2 back-to-back ones. You went from the Achilles to the ACL to the quad. Like they just started punching him in the face, and it was tough too because he was peaking in New Orleans.
Yes.
He was peaking in New Orleans, and because of that New Orleans team, that's how Anthony Davis ends up in his situation.
Yep.
Maybe it's the water because them two went downhill, Zion downhill. We might have to investigate New Orleans. we might have to see what's going on.
There's some beignets in that water down there. Something's happening.
Tracy?
Oh, I mean, yes. Because you're talking about a 30-point-a-night guy getting an injury, coming back, and not being much of himself. But he continually got hurt. So
yeah.
I don't know if he ever came back truly from his injury. I mean, it was the same thing about like Grant Hill. Grant Hill was like the next guy up, but his injuries stopped him from being at his full potential. So I don't know. I feel like Joel came into the league hurt and has played hurt the entire time he's been here. So that's why blaming being hurt to me almost feels small because that's who he's always been. He's played through the injuries. He's played hurt. He's had minute restrictions. He's done all that and still been a part of multiple MVP conversations. So I don't know if this is just recency bias or if it's the biggest downfall we've seen from like that caliber down. I don't know.
The injuries have it's still hard because most of these comparisons have to do with you took a bad injury during your professional career to what you're saying. Embiid came in already injured. The only person that maybe I can think of, and this it's tough for me to say because I defend him often in the group chat. If we just go by strictly play wise and the cliff that it starts to fall off, Russ.
Westbrook,
because you go from MVP in 2017 to being essentially traded around as a non-factor, constantly blamed, and it's I don't think it's completely him, but if you just go by the perception, he's been healthy since. Athleticism still there, but that didn't drop off. It just kind of declined. He's obviously getting older, so he's not flying, but he can still get up there. But the shooting limitations completely exposed, and then a misfit with multiple teams. In some of those situations, it wasn't him; he was just a scapegoat. Other times, it just didn't work, like being in LA. But those situations didn't help.
So the reason why I would disagree with Russell Westbrook is because what was it, a year ago? He was with Denver, and he was lighting it up. And not to say he was like a shooting, but just like energy, everything they needed coming off, getting the defensive stops, getting the fast break points. I mean, he looked like prime Russ. So I don't know if he ever fell off because I feel like he sustained his level of intensity and like how he's played. Obviously, the opportunities that he's receiving, I feel like a bunch of the teams are just having a hard time fitting a Russell Westbrook into their system. We have this happen every 10 years. The style of basketball changes, and it changes drastically. So you might have fit in the 2000s. You may not fit in 2010 to 2020. You might have fit in 2010 to 2020. You may not fit in 20 to 2023. You know what I'm saying? So every 10 years, there's a good reset of how basketball is played in the NBA. And Russ in 2010 to 2020 was the man. 2020 to 2030, this is just not what his style of basketball is suited for.
Yes. Okay. Fair enough. If it stopped right now for him, Is Joel Embiid Hall of Fame candidate
Probably.
based off of?
I mean, you've had a few 30-point seasons, high 20s, multiple All-Stars, some first team All-NBAs. I think he's got a good enough resume to squeak in.
Is he first ballot?
Probably not. Unless whoever he's up against, because then that's also the conversation. So if we've got some older guy who's supposed to have been in since the 70s and he just keeps getting passed over because these big names come in, he might just get passed up again. But I think from the consensus of most people that watch the NBA, he's a Hall of Famer. You don't have to win a chip to be one.
How long does it have to be between you stopping play and being eligible?
7 years. 4 years? What is it?
Because I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Yeah. I'm looking at it right now. It says 3 full seasons.
3 full seasons. Okay.
Dang.
Because he does have the 2023 MVP, which also makes this conversation what it is, because you were just the MVP and you were in the runner-up the following year, where Jokic won.
Yeah. There's not too many MVPs that don't make the Hall of Fame.
Oh, I forgot. He has a few scoring titles, 7-time All-Star, multiple All-NBA first teams, and his PER. Yeah.
See? That's a good enough resume to get into the Hall of Fame with his name.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay. If you only have to wait 3 years, yeah. Okay. Anything more than 3, because then you would have to ask, like, what was his mark? Because the tough part about this particular class, you have to go and look it up with all the greatness they had because of the fact you played in the Steph, LeBron, KD era. And
that gets forgotten.
Yes.
That gets forgotten. Because sometimes it's not you, it's the circumstances you're in. You're also in Philly, and you've also had to play some of the greatest players that have ever walked the floor. So for you to still be MVP, for you to still be first team All NBA, couple defensive teams, all that other stuff, that's really tough to do in some of these eras for sure.
Does it hinder him for him being if not 1A, the 1B reason why the whole you got to play all the games except 15 rule exists? Does that hinder this conversation? Because he won MVP off of a little bit more than half a season.
No, I don't think it hinders him because I think the he's got enough accolades to still take a couple bullets and still be enough to make it through.
Okay, fair. So let me ask you this, right? We about at an hour and a half. Do you want to still touch on the NCAA, or do you want to do a special episode as we break down the bracket?
I think breaking down the bracket, because Selection Sunday is coming up soon. Having some of these teams shake out to where we could do like a pick, put it up on the board, do some picks. I think that'd be fun.
You know what we should do? We should also do a kick bracket just for the pod.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. I'll ask you live on air, man, how you feel about potentially bringing up the Caucasian pundit that's been lobbying.
You would put me on the spot. You would put me on the spot with this question. It's gonna be some real conversations about this one. I'm not giving my answer on this podcast.
Yeah, okay.
Nice try, though.
Oh man. Well, with that being said, we gonna wrap this one up, man. You guys know where to find us, man. We are on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram at the Keep It Clean Show. We drop episodes on a regular basis. You getting at least 2, maybe sometimes more of episodes from us. We do sports, we do regular potting, we do pop culture. We're gonna start getting into the reviews. Abe told me he's a big movie guy. We're gonna have to test that theory. I got to get to the theaters to go. What was it? 101 crime? What was? Yeah,
Crime
go check that out.
Yep.
Crime 101. We did a review on another show as well. So now Now you just gonna see us everywhere. You're gonna see us everywhere, man. So we appreciate y'all being here. This is the Keep It Clean Show, sports, right? And shout out to Little Buckeye and Fighting Irish out there in this hypothetical timeline, man. Hope y'all are great. Your dad's lost a bet. Game be the game, ball up top, right?
We're sorry.
Every time you see me, I keep it clean like a coaster.